St. Louis City Boys, what it do? From the arch to the booth, we talk about you. City Boys in the loop.
Shout out to the St. Louis City Boys podcast.
They're in your head just like Roman Berkey. This is a City Boys podcast.
City leads you into the City Boys podcast right now.
Kings, queens, and in-betweens, welcome back to the City Boys podcast. In this game that featured 2 red cards, STL's first clean sheet in MLS play this year, our first road win of the season, and our first win at Colorado in club history. But before we get into this episode and break down the lineups, the match, give you our points, get into Kit Clash, and then preview LAFC, let me introduce myself and our host. My name is Ethan, and I am joined by 2 of my best friends, Jacob and Grayson. Jacob, how are you doing tonight, my man?
All things considered, with the life that I'm currently living right now, for those of you close to me, you know the struggles I'm going through. I'm doing great. I'm very sunburnt at the moment. My skin is very dry, so I apologize to all you visual viewers out there for the gun show that has to happen tonight. I am quite warm with the AC on and the fan blowing in my face, so do forgive me. Grayson, my roommate, my friend, my pal, fellow city lover, how are you doing this weekend or today? How are you doing?
Overall, doing all right. Overall, I got to enjoy a great Mother's Day with the family. Shout out all the moms of the pod,
Absolutely.
moms of the city. Shout out. Got to hang out with my lovely mother, and then I've honestly been watching a lot of scary movies lately. I've just been in the kick, and I've watched some pretty good ones. So if you want recommendations, leave a comment below. I'll drop a movie for you to watch. So
The City Boys
Get into
Movie
it.
Club is on the way, ladies
you never
and
know.
gentlemen.
It can be fun.
Project Hail Mary, Project Hail Mary, Project Hail Mary, Project Hail Mary.
I'm excited to watch that one.
I haven't
because
seen it.
I didn't watch any movies this weekend, gentlemen. This weekend, like Grayson, I went home to the mom, got to hang out with the family. I love cooking the family dinner now that I'm a grown-up. I used to love going home and getting home cooked meals, but now cooking the meals is a nice, fun, full circle thing to do. It was a very full weekend of quality time. I hope it was the same for all of our listeners and for the fellow City Boys. Also this weekend, guys, we were treated to a St. Louis City victory. Holy
Oh.
cow.
Felt good.
Once in a blue moon occasion here, our second of the season. Guys, I'm pretty excited to get into it. Grayson, will you take us through the lineup, please?
Yeah, I will. Guess what? Not a lot of change. Isn't that crazy? But some. So we're back in the 3-4-3 classically. 3-4-2-1, I think is what it accurately.
Not according to Apple TV. It's a 3-4-1-2.
Yeah,
Three,
they were
4-4-7-6 3-2-1. Roman Berkey in the goal, of course. Did he technically pick up? No, I guess they gave it to Simon Betcher. I was going to say Roman Berkey got an assist, but whatever. Back line, we've got little change. We got Dante Polvara on the left, Timo Baumgartl in the middle, and Yaziel Orozco coming back to the starting lineup. His
Love that.
much-deserved starting spot back in action. We got Thomas Totland on the left, Daniel Edelman and Chris Durkin in the middle, Conrad Ballum on the right. Another big change, we have Sangbang Jong on the right wing, right attacking mid position. Marcel Hartl flanking him on the left, and Simon Betcher up top. We did have a bunch of subs here, none that were like super big in this match. I'd say McSorley probably made the biggest impact, hitting the post. But we had McSorley come on at halftime, Lucas McNaughton, Edu Leuven, and then Falu Fall, and Miggy Perez in the last minute of the game. So actually, McSorley got subbed on and subbed off. He got subbed off in the last minute of the game. So I think that's our first double sub of the season.
I think it is, and hopefully the last. It makes a substitution feel pretty wasted, in my opinion. Also, in the context of the game, it was a very necessary sub due to being down to 10 men. So it just made more sense to put
And
in
he was
another
already
midfielder.
already on a yellow card. You subbed in the second half.
He was, yeah.
Yeah. When did
So
he?
also, I think it's notable that the reason McSorley came on in the second half was because Sangbin Jung had an injury. It came out in I think the post-match or the pre-match press conference for the LAFC game that it was a calf injury, or like he felt some tightness in his calf. So that's why he came off. It was due to injury, and that's why we saw McSorley in the second half. Otherwise, I think that Sangbin had a great argument to keep going. He looked fantastic in the first 45.
In addition to why people started and subbed off, Sergio Cordova was supposed to start this match at striker, but the story on the street, or I guess the story from the press is that he had an illness. Story on the street is his loan is up at the end of June, so maybe we're looking to not play him anymore.
I just think he had diarrhea. He should
Oh, yeah.
shitted himself that
Awesome.
morning. It happens.
I did hear that there was something apparently going around the team. Apparently DeMay was sick the day before as well. So who knows? But either way, the striker position is not one that fills me with confidence in this starting 11. Also, a position that does not fill me with confidence in the starting 11. Conrad Valem still starting for St. Louis City. Guys, I have been clamoring for a change, and I still think I'm justified after this performance. I did not love it. I didn't love it.
And we've talked endlessly about the different rotations you could have at outside back. I don't see the production on the field that continues to make an argument for why he starts.
Yeah, and Grayson, you mentioned before the pod that Orozco looked good at right wing back. He's played there before. Do you think he could be starting there?
I don't know if he'll start there just because he has been so locked down at center back. I think it would be it'd be funny to expect DeMay to change anything like that. So I would like to see Orozco at right wing back. It opens up the space to have Falu or Mbake or even McNaughton. McNaughton's looked good in the back line. So, if we do need rotation, we have options. But how many of those options realistically are going to be taken? Who knows? We did get to see Polvara in the midfield a little bit last week. So maybe we're getting a little bit creative. I don't know.
Yeah, and given that Chris Durkin did pick up a red card in this game, I think it would make sense to rotate Polvara just a little bit forward. He's also shown glimpses of being able to carry the ball into progressive areas with confidence and finesse. So I wouldn't mind seeing that, given a pivot of Polvara and Edelman in this upcoming match against LAFC.
He did have a hell of a center back run in this game.
Sure.
Yes, he did, which you guys know I love. I also thought that it was notable. Falou Fall got a little bit of time in this game. I saw a lot of chatter on social media about how we have a clean sheet in 50% of his performances on the season.
It's a nice
which
stat
is
to have.
pretty funny. But I don't know, guys. I'm not totally convinced on either Falou Fall or Mbake Fall yet, but I think that we have called for rotation. I think it's time, especially in a period where we have a lot of games coming up.
I think it's just big to note that it's a clean sheet against a pretty solid offense. We bent a lot, but we did not break. So as much as it wasn't the cleanest performance, we somehow managed to keep it out of the net. So
yeah, I was going to say, this is as barely a clean sheet as it comes.
It is, guys. And we can get into the game now. I think that Colorado really had the first chance of the game when Manungu would take on Valem and Orozco, created space for himself. But fortunately, he just missed. I thought for sure that we were going down early once again after some quality attacking play. Same old story. We get fortunate in the moment, but guys, I mean, I'm tired of it.
He just missed. That's literally like nobody put him off. Nobody tipped the shot. He just missed.
Hey, speaking of early chances, I do want to, honorable mention Chris Durkin. He had that midfield shot in like the 7th minute where Colorado's keeper came way out of the box, almost near half field, gives it straight to Durkin, who hits a pretty decent shot, but it is off frame, skips wide, probably 10 feet wide. But
I will say I know 3 people on this podcast who would have hit a better Trivela shot than Chris Durkin in that moment.
It would have been nice. Just give it to Marcel Hartle. He's got that, buddy. He can handle that.
That's who we want the ball falling to in that moment, not Chris Durkin. Unfortunately, he didn't do bad with
It
it.
wasn't a bad shot. It could have been magic.
It was his second highest highlight of the evening without spoiling anything.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and take the most notable moment of St. Louis City's match when Sang-Bin Jong would score in the 26th minute when Roman Berkey, was this off a goal kick or did he just put it on the ground and play it?
No, it
put
was
it
from
on
the
the
goal
ground.
kick. Was it not?
Either way, the Roman Berkey plays the ball from the box straight forward. The ball holds up in the air just a little bit. There was a lot of wind on the night. Simon Betcher's able to flick it through, put Sang-Bin in on goal. And it seems like a goal that we've seen before from Sang-Bin this year. It's very similar to the one that he scored against FC Tulsa, except this time he likes to take it around the goalkeeper and put it in that way, which for me was the ultimate display of confidence and composure in front of goal. This is a player who has really struggled to get first team starting in significant minutes in St. Louis City since the start of the year. Here he is in a starting opportunity. He takes his chance with grace. Really great to see from Sang-Bin Jong. What do you guys think of this goal, Jacob?
Oh, I thought it was fantastic. It had everything that the striker position for St. Louis has been lacking all season, which was pace, composure, and a quality finish. And yeah, when it happened, I was excited, but watching the replay, all I could think to myself was that Sang-Bin was thinking to himself.
Speed. I am speed. Now, for me, I'm not going to get too deep into it because I kind of talk a bit about it in my point, but I will say I think this is enough for him to be starting at right wing next match. I mean, no one else has scored a goal from that position, so we might as well just keep throwing him out there. Solid.
I think there's a fair argument to be made that Sang-Bin Jong should be starting in St. Louis City's 11.
And to touch on
Maybe.
what you had said, Ethan, this is like over the course of a year, essentially when we picked him up on loan, he's been struggling for starting minutes. Coming from Minnesota, not starting with them, and then in and out of the starting 11 during his loan spell last season with us, and then the start of this year, where I think this is his first or second start on the season.
Yeah, it is a really good display of mentality from Sang-Bin, and I could also see him starting at the right wing back position for Volum. I don't want to keep harping on this topic, but it makes
Anybody
sense
but
to me.
Volum.
Yeah, I would love to see anybody in that position. So yeah, this goal really set us up for success. Instead of playing from behind in an early stage of the game, we have the lead. And I think that really put us in the driver's seat for this first half and then the start of the second half, where there was another pretty notable moment. Who wants to talk about the dark art? Mr. Simon, Jacob, take it away.
Oh, I was pointing to Grayson because of his
Grayson, sorry.
chat shit that he did against this man in the preview of this game.
I don't remember what I said.
He talked about his hairline specifically.
Oh yeah, Rob Holding, Mr. Hair Transplant. From Arsenal days, I have a pretty strong hatred of anyone associated with Arsenal. So this was always gonna happen to him. He's an Arsenal guy. They play dirty, you know. So, he actually did not play dirty. This red card was super soft. Basically, what happens, the ball gets sent over the top. Simon Betcher runs onto it. A lot of St. Louis City's best play actually came from balls over the top in this match. It led to Chris Durkin's shot. Just because it pulls the keeper out. If it's perfectly placed, it pulls the keeper out of the goal. So we really benefited from that. And just the same here. Simon Betcher gets in on goal. It's a tussle. Both players, Betcher and Holding, are grabbing each other. Betcher's arm kind of gets stuck under Holding's arm, and when he turns, it looks maybe like Rob Holding maybe held his arm a little bit, barely.
He was holding?
Rob Holding his arm.
Living his namesake. This is definitely the softest red card you'll see in a long time. Jacob, you had a nickname for Simon Betcher during the game. Do you remember it?
No.
I want to give you the credit because it's so good. You called him Simulation Simon, but
Okay.
I love it because this is where St. Louis City's identity is founded on. It's in making it challenging for opponents. It's in being a shithouse, a hardworking team. And Simon exudes that in this moment. He is essentially simulating a hard foul here. He goes down extremely soft. He is being held, and it is the last defender. So by the book, it is a red card, but
It's soft.
It's good. It's in the end, it's good striker play from Simon Betcher in that moment. So I know that we've given him a lot of shit, rightfully so this year, but it's good to see him succeeding where he can in those dark arts where we haven't seen as much of St. Louis City in the Yohan Deme era. So credit where it's due, in my opinion. But yeah, this is easily, easily the softest red card of the season, in my opinion.
And unfortunately, as the game played out, it did not really matter. It didn't feel like we were up a man at all. If anything, it lit even more of a fire underneath Colorado's ass because they got a red card, and about 2 minutes afterwards, they were back on the front foot, being able to connect passes specifically in the midfield, which is what then leads to the next big moment in this match. Frustration, honestly, a Brexit level tackle out of Chris Durkin, which he got a red card. So like, I'm upset about that. But as far as just like good center defensive mid play goes, I loved watching him crunch someone like that. But all for naught because now we're knotted up again 10v10 and on the very, very back foot. We were lucky with the amount of missed chances from Colorado at the end of the second half to leave, what is it, Dick's Sporting Goods Stadium with 3 points.
Park.
Whatever.
Oh, yeah. Actually.
Fucking dick.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you could tell that this red card was born out of frustration from Chris Durkin right before he goes into this tackle. The camera shows him yelling at Yaziel Orozco about something, just a moment where he wanted more from his teammate. Obviously, St. Louis City were playing. I mean, they were on the back foot. That's an understatement. Colorado definitely lit up after this red card. So to see us go down to 10 men was so frustrating and just a stupid, very dumb red card. And yeah, it was really tough to see, tough to stomach for me, but we've been calling for rotation and now we get it by necessity. So that's the positive that I'm trying to take away from this, is that a player who's gotten a lot of minutes so far this season, a player that's been important for us, is going to get a rest against a very good team. I don't know if it's a 1 or 2 match suspension. I hope it's only one.
Probably just one. So, especially since it was a second yellow.
Yeah.
True, which I think is important to note in comparison to Rob Holding's straight red card.
So the straight red was softer than the second yellow.
Easily. I'm sure Rob Holding was like, man, I wish I would have at least earned my red card.
I should have punched him.
He could have, like, Chris Durkin could have gotten a straight red for that challenge.
It was pretty aggressive and pretty late.
It was very late. It was very high on the legs. Studs. I mean, he didn't hit him with the studs, but studs were up, full body force at full speed. Like, I have gotten red cards for less.
I do think it is also important to note that even though Colorado did look pretty good, a man down, St. Louis still did make a lot of good chances to score that we still squandered. So I'm not saying it's a positive. We missed all those chances. Even some chances that are very reminiscent of chances we've just seen. Like we just had another Marcel Hartel to Simon Betcher moment during this match that was once again squandered. So it's still like we had chances. We did not pull it out.
Was the other one Marcel Hartel to McSorley, or was it Betcher to McSorley, where McSorley hits the side net?
That one,
Hartel.
Yeah, it was Hartel.
So what did Hartel learn from this match? Don't fucking pass in the box.
And just do it yourself,
Be
man.
shooting. Just start shooting, brother.
Man, I think that typically I don't go to the stats as the story of the game because it can be a little bit misleading. But I think in this instance, the stats do tell a story, and specifically on corner kicks.
Yeah.
They absolutely dominated us as far as corner kicks in both halves. In the first half, they had a spell of 3 corner kicks in a row and just really were putting us under pressure. St. Louis City could easily replicate this kind of pressure. It's easy for them to build pressure on a team like that. And instead, we have 1 corner kick in the entire game. I mean, if they're defending with 1 less defender on set pieces, we have got to be getting numbers into the box. And for them to end up with more shots on target than us in this game is disappointing, especially given some of the chances that we had and how much longer we played a man up than even. Anyways, I think that's my final note on the game. Do you guys have any other moments or things that you want to talk about from the 90? Jacob.
I have 2 statements. One, it's even more telling based off of the amount of shots on target that they had that this is a huge clean sheet for Roman Berkey. It is the first on the season for him and company. So shout out to the defense, even though a lot of times it did look shaky. And after saying all that, I forgot the second point that I wanted to make in regards to this match. So maybe it'll come up later and I'll chat about it. But that's it for me before points.
Well, I think that like St. Louis City, gentlemen, let's bring home the 3 points this week. Jacob, are you starting us off?
I definitely can. My point this week is a question. And for those of you listening and watching, I want your opinions on this as well. I try to stay away from City fans' opinions on Facebook, but if it's on our own channels, I'll listen. Sorry, I was getting a call while looking at my notes app. My point is, what is more important, winning ugly or losing, but the soccer is pretty? And I will ask you both this question in a second. My answer is winning is always the most important, regardless of how it looks. Winning, just from a business standpoint, sells more tickets than losing soccer. Winning keeps your fan base around. Losing in style, essentially, only really gets the rocks off of true soccer nuts. We looked pretty bad attacking in this game, and we won. We looked okay defensively with Roman Berkey and company. Let's see. When it comes to a franchise that has lost more than it has won, I want to win ugly every single time versus losing in style. Sangmin Jong was such a breath of fresh air and pace and composure and clinicism that everyone else we've tried up top has lacked. It's unfortunate he couldn't go for the second half because with the long balls and a high Colorado back line, he had 3 to 4 more chances to come, maybe 1 to 2 more goals. And while it was ugly yesterday, we got all 3 points for only the second time this season. I will take 3 points every single time. I'll start with you, Ethan. What's more important, winning or losing pretty?
Well,
Sorry, winning ugly or losing pretty?
Yeah, I know my answer 10 times out of 10 is going to be winning ugly. I would rather go down to 10 men every match and still pull out a win than lose beautifully, like you mentioned. I don't think it matters if Marcel Hartl is scoring world-class goals, goal of the season contenders, if we can't bring home the 3 points in that game. So I am looking forward to more ugly wins if that is how St. Louis City are going to get it done. I think that's something that Grayson specifically on this podcast has been calling for forever since our inception.
For like a year, yeah.
We have needed a dog mentality, fight it out kind of victory that we can hang our hats on and recall from in future moments. So for me, I'm picking losing ugly winning ugly. Oh my God, I never want to lose ugly. I'm picking winning ugly every single time. Yeah, that's an easy one for me.
Yeah, I agree. And I think 2 good examples of teams that constantly win ugly and it's not a negative thing, I guess, to win ugly constantly is teams like Manchester City and sadly Arsenal. So obviously Man City, the past 4 or 5 years have been extremely dominant in the Premier League. And, sometimes they're not the most exciting to watch just because they're very possession based style. They hold the ball, and they're very tedious. They pass the ball back until they finally see that moment, and then they attack. I will say they are way more fun to watch than fucking Arsenal, who only scores from corner kicks. So I will hate on them constantly, but they are winning these games. They've made it all the way to the Champions League final. They're currently winning the Premier League, barely, by winning ugly. No one's happy about it besides Arsenal, but they're getting the job done. Hopefully it doesn't work out, but for Man City at least it has. So obviously these are two teams that any MLS team would want to emulate, not very successfully, I'm sure, for quite some time. But, these are the standards that you want to, reach for. And obviously we're not at the level of Man City and Arsenal, but this game,
leads.
Yeah, barely. But yeah, it's like all these lower level sides in Prem, teams like Sunderland, teams like Stoke City. They're not
Tottenham.
They are successful because they can, grind out these 1-0 wins against teams that are, frankly, just putting it on them, putting on the offense. So if we can continue to be like this and scratch out very defensive, gritty wins, I will be very happy.
Grayson, what from a ugly win is required in order to get that win?
Really what we saw here was defensive discipline. We didn't have, bend but don't break, right? So
would you say maybe moments of...
Oh, I see where this is going. I see where this is going. So my point for this week is called Moments of Magic. And it's, unlike the name, it's not really a positive point. You see, what I was about to say, these moments of discipline are what win us this game. But there was, moments of magic. And that is what St. Louis is currently relying on to win games. Songbin's goal was beautiful. Speed, composure, skill, get past the keeper. It was a moment of magic, but can it be repeated? Technically, yes, because this is the second time he did it this season. But that was a bad example. Can Hartle, pull out that goal that he had earlier this year every single week? No. But what we do every single week? Create chances to score from tap-ins, and we miss. So we benefit from this moment of magic early in the game. We benefit from an insanely lucky red card to Colorado. We bend, but we don't break, and we win 1-0. What makes this game different than any of the other games? Not much, because if you watch this game, we looked almost identical to how we look in every match. We control possession, we create moments of, we create goal-scoring chances, and we don't take them. The only thing that saved us here was a moment of magic. This was a very gritty win. It didn't look great. It didn't really seem like a ton of progress was made in terms of growing as a team, but earning a clean sheet was massive. Big 3 points, second win of the season. We're going to need a lot more magic to keep going, but we gotta start scoring the easy stuff. The non-magical stuff.
I mean, which honestly we still looked like we're struggling to do in this game, thinking about McSorley's tap-in chance that just didn't go in for us. Yeah, and Grayson, it's hard to rely on moments of magic, especially when it feels like the team is still under its full strength. But I think with Leuven returning and if we can get into my point, if we have a great DP9 on the way, I think that will be the key to unlock St. Louis City. And my point this week is a direct message to Corey Ray. It has got to be a DP9 signing. It has got to be a designated player who is a striker who moves the needle for St. Louis City. And now I'm sure that Corey Ray has got the mechanisms down of the MLS. He's born and bred, basically. He's only had one career in his life, and it's working in the MLS front offices. So we need to unload the 1.2 million of Sergio Cordova. We need to unload the 1.5 million of Cedric Toykert. We need to unload the 250,000 of Josh Yarrow, and we need to unload the 200,000 plus in Kyle Hebert. Now, before I ask your guys' opinion on who all really needs to be unloaded, because I gave my 2 cents, who Corey Ray needs to bring in has got to be someone of Dejan Jovelic's quality or better. Grayson is named Peter Musa as a player that St. Louis City needs to go out and get. I think there's a good argument for Rafa Navajo from the Colorado Rapids, given the season that he's having. Whoever it needs to be, because I see the City Boys don't agree with me, it has to be a bona fide goal scorer, whether it's someone from overseas or someone in the MLS, someone that will be finishing chances for St. Louis City. Now, gentlemen, I go to you for the question. Sergio Cordova, does he stay or does he go? 2 thumbs down for Sergio Cordova. I don't expect to see him after the World Cup. Now, Cedric Toykert's contract runs out in June, guys. He's got a $1.5 million contract. He's making a lot of money with St. Louis City in MLS terms. Does he stay? Does he go? For me, I said he needs to go.
I do like him. I do like him a lot, but I think we got to be ruthless.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with my guns from last season of sell him for a bag of rocks. He's worth more than a bag of rocks now, but he has not been the same Cedric Toykert from the last 5 matches of 2024.
That was unreal.
I think everyone would love and want to keep him if he were that same player. But I think you're right, Jacob. The stats show that he is not that same player. He's dealt with a lot of injuries that aren't even necessarily his fault while being here, but it just seems like it is time to move on and put our eggs in a different basket. I think I know where you guys stand on Joshua Yarrow, but Grayson, you hesitated after I said Kyle Hebert. Do you feel like we need to keep him around and keep his salary on the books?
No, I like Kyle Hebert, but we obviously have an insane amount of depth at center back now.
Yes,
so much so that some of our best center backs are no longer starting, no longer playing at the moment. So no, I don't think we need to add another center back to the mix. I love Kyle Hebert, great guy. Not even a bad center back. I really like. I think he would play probably pretty solid in this system. But if I'm the coach, he's not playing in this system, and I think he does need to move on from St. Louis City.
I'll put it like this, Grayson. I would want to come up against Kyle Hebert. I would want St. Louis City to play against Kyle Hebert. And so I'm not even trying to diss him, but I'm saying yeah, I think it's time for us if we do want to improve in quality. So that's my point for this week. Corey Ray, it has got to be a designated player 9. That's my real takeaway from this game. I think that everything that can be said about St. Louis City's play has been said. We've talked about all the squad rotations that need to happen. We've talked about the tactics that we would like to see. So now I've moved into the front office and what I think needs on the field from there.
Yeah, because the answer to the number 9 position is currently not in the locker room right now.
I think that's clear. If it were, it would be on the field producing for us in one way or another. It's not on the bench for us. I think that, yeah, even if Sangbin Jong were to come in and start flying at the striker position, it still wouldn't justify not going out and getting a great striker in this upcoming transfer window. So I will hold off on any Corey Ray hot seat or pressure until the summer transfer window, but it has if there's no change, if nothing changes, guys. I've said that before, so that's how I'm gonna wrap that bow on my point.
All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap up this match with a round of Kit Clash. Bing, 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 bing. All right, and I I gotta say, Colorado came out with a banger kit. In my opinion, I am a big fan of this Colorado home kit that they're rocking during this match day. Uh, Ethan, what's your take on this kit?
I like the colorful Colorado kit, but for me, it's just a little too basic. I would like to see a real colorful Colorado kind of kit. And on this one, I see a lot of black and I see a few nice accent colors, which are nice. Don't get me wrong, it's like a clean jersey, but I expected more after seeing their throwback jersey to the Colorado, the 96 jersey where they had the green. That's an all-time classic for me. So for me, good kit, just not great. I'm going for a 7.8.
Okay. I am in agreement, Ethan. I don't think this is a good Colorado kid. I think the bar for Colorado has been raised over recent years with some very good kids coming out of Colorado. So I hold them in high regard, not nearly as high as like a Seattle Sounders production of kids or even LAFC, but definitely up there in the top, 30% of MLS teams as far as their kit production has gone. And this one missed the mark for me. Like you said, lots of accents for a kit that's supposed to be full of color.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm even gonna go lower than a 7.8, which is a flat 7. I'll give it a 7.1 because seven's my favorite number, and this is not my favorite kit, so it's a 7.1.
Okay, okay. No, we always talk about being a podcast that is high on white kits. I gotta say, guys, I'm even higher on black kits, blacked out kits. They're just something different, something clean, something better. And I think this one is not completely blacked out. I would have loved it if they had like a blacked out logo, blacked out Adidas, and then even more vibrant like lines. But I gotta say, I really, really do like this kit. It's simple, but to me, the accents are what's doing the talking, and the bands on the arm and the collar are so clean. And I think looking at it on soccer.com's website, sponsor is soccer.com, does not do it justice because it looks so good on the pitch, especially at night. You got the bright lights on there, but the kit is just blacked out. I think it looks so nice. To me, it's a flat 8. No, not a flat. 8.5. I was going to say 9. I didn't want to go that high.
Okay.
So 8.5 for me.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. I'll take it. All right. Speaking of black kits, let's talk about our midweek matchup. We've got LAFC in the midweek. Obviously, this is a team I feel like we know very well because we talk about them a lot. But what's been going on with them? So they had a 15-game unbeaten streak. And now they're looking at 2 wins in their last 9 games. So LAFC has completely flipped. They have the most clean sheets in the league, but have leaked 8 goals in their last 2 matches against Toluca and Houston. LAFC is a very good team, and there's no doubt about that. But the results have got to start coming back, right? What do you guys think is happening with LA? What do we think about this matchup?
Well, I don't like it based off what I just saw from St. Louis City. I never really like coming up against LAFC also. To my knowledge, they rested Denis Bouanga against Houston, so he's going to be back in the starting 11, presumably, and he is once again co-owner of St. Louis City SC. So, with him, Youngman's son, their other good winger whose name evades me at the moment.
Jonathan.
They also have that motherfucker in midfield who scored 2 piss missiles against us. Matthew Chouanieri.
Chouanieri.
Chouanieri. Yeah, I don't like this. I know it's at home. It's literally tomorrow night. We record this on Tuesday, so we have seen that weekday matches at City Park seldomly get sold out. So that doesn't fill me with a lot of hope either. I am going to run it back, and I think this is going to be a 2-1 loss because LAFC is leaking goals, but we're struggling to score them. So I see it medianing out with us scoring one, and someone's got to get back into the midfield for Chris Durkin. I took Marcel Hartle last week to score. He didn't. So I'm going to take. What did I take? Edu. I'll take Edu this week.
Sure.
It's a pretty good shout considering that at least one midfield spot is opening up. And before I get into LAFC, I want to put St. Louis into a little bit of context because we talked about this before the pod, and we're just 6 points out of 10th place, which is playoff contention. It's not in the play-in game, but it's not that far away. So it feels kind of dire right now, but we don't sit too far back. We're 4 points behind San Diego FC, which is pretty crazy. Portland, Colorado, and Austin. So a good result here puts us back into fighting contention is what I'm trying to say. And I got a feeling the boys in the locker room know that better than anybody. Jacob, you mentioned that they did rest co-owner of St. Louis City, Denis Bouanga, which I don't love. I'm hoping that Yaziela Roscoe has a great performance. Also, LAFC currently third in the West, guys. They are one of the best teams in our division, regardless of how bad their run of form has been recently, which it has been bad. Grayson, they played on average every 3.5 days since April 14th. So they are going on, I think they have like a 2-3-2 record in that time span. It's not great. Although St. Louis City would kind of kill for that record, I think, in recent times. So you mentioned they're coming off the 4-1 thrashing against Houston, who we play in the Open Cup in a couple of weeks. I hate that was the result, by the way. I don't love that.
It'll be fine.
That Jack McGlynn is catching fire. Please put that out in the midweek. Oh, bless you. Last time out this season, we lost 2-0 to LAFC. So I am actually going to go for a different result than Jacob did because we played really well against them. Without those 2 moments of magic from Shanieri, I think that we might end up just drawing that game.
I did say that our ceiling, as far as how we looked, was that game against LAFC.
So if we can play to their level at home with the fans, boys, I think that we can squeak out a 2-2 draw because I think that LAFC is like that. But I think that we can score 2 goals. And I got Marcel Hartle scoring. Thank you, Jacob, for leaving that for me. And I think that it'll be a decent St. Louis City game. If we can stack a win and a draw against one of the best teams in our conference, then yeah, I like where we're at. I like where we're headed.
I think as much as LAFC is sticking it up lately, I think we will lose this game. I'm going to say 2-1 as well. I'm going to say consolation goal. Actually, we probably score first, knowing us. We score first, and we'll lose this game. But I'm going to give it to, I almost said Chris Durkin. No.
Not him.
Not Chris Durkin. I'm going to give this goal to Miguel Perez. I think he comes back into the starting lineup in place of Chris Durkin. I think we get an Edelman and Miggy Perez midfield. And
interesting.
Miguel's going to push up into the attack a little bit more. Unless it's Leuven, but we'll see. I'm going to ride with that. 2-1. 2-1 LA.
My honorable mention for goal scorer, now that you both are locked in, was Thomas Tolland.
You don't get points for an honorable mention.
I know. But
that's not in the rules.
I wouldn't be surprised.
All right. That would be awesome.
I think that just about wraps up the episode. We got any grab bags, or are we good to call it an ep?
Usually I got a grab bag, but nothing this week, gentlemen.
Well, as we are getting into graduation season, make sure you tell all the graduates congratulations. This is a mini shout out to mine and Ethan and Grayson's boy, Mateo. He graduated this past weekend. He was a very important member to the SIUE women's soccer team over the last 3.5 years. So shout out to him.
And our futsal team.
Yeah, he is in the futsal video. He played on a torn ACL because he's got that dog in him like me.
That's right.
But if you've watched this long, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment if you're on YouTube. If you have listened this long, make sure you are following, rating 5 stars, and commenting on Spotify. But most importantly, in lieu of Mother's Day being over, if you missed it, I'm giving you a chance right now to make sure you tell your mother that you love her. Peace.
STL.
St. Louis City Boys, what it do? From the arch to the booth, we talk about you. City Boys in the loop. City Boys in the loop. City Boys, turn it up, run it back. That's the crew. That's the crew. From the stands to the streets, we true. St. Louis, City Boys in the boys in the loop. Red smoke in the sky. Game day in the eye. Every play, every fight, we gon' break it down right. City Boys in the loop. City Boys in the loop. City Boys, turn it up, run it back. That's the crew. That's the crew. From the stands to the streets, we true. St.